Hey everyone, it's James here and Bobby, the rescue dog, on the couch behind me. Quick look at the markets and let's see what's going on. If you didn't catch me on my Sunday night live stream, I'll link that at the end of this video so that you can catch up on some of the markets I might not cover today. But let's have a look at what's going on. Now, what's going on with Bitcoin? This is the 4-hour chart, just dropping down overnight into this Tuesday morning. But very interesting, down to the 78.6% fib on this Coinbase chart. And if we look at the futures chart over here at the CME, it's also super interesting. We're still very oversold on the RSI on the day chart. The futures rolls come out in a couple of days' time, but we've also dropped down to the 78.6 almost precisely. We've also dropped down below this point of control into a larger volume gap, which is good to fill in some of that volume. And if I zoom out, you'll notice that actually in the broader picture, we actually touched the overall point of control on this chart. So maybe that's what was required. Just zooming out again here on the day chart and going back to the 4-hour chart, maybe just a little bit of a bounce out of the 78.6% fib. Don't hold out great hope for this though, although we might get a short-term bounce, and all short-term bounces can turn into long-term trends, so be aware of that. If that's to be the case, we need to at least defeat this 4-hour trend line on the chart here and these moving averages in the cluster above us. But let's see how we go. There's all sorts of stuff coming out this week with tariffs and, of course, war. Now, quickly scanning across the stocks. This is a very quick video. It's not meant to be a long video. I'm still long on the NASDAQ. Held up quite well yesterday despite the sell-off across the markets. And it looks to me like we might still hold here. My contention is that we've got to get through the blob. And if we do and hold above that black trend line, we've got a chance of a rally out of what is now potentially a bull flag. We need to see some structure forming above this line, something like I've got drawn in here, and we've not got that yet, so it's still looking pretty weak. But I'm going to retain my long position, same on the S&P. I've also got longs on various names. I don't want to go into those too much because they do flip and flop, and I quite often change them during the trading day, and I don't want to mislead people. But generally, I'm long on a few names. MSTR going well from that bounce off the bottom. Google had a massive day 2 days ago, recovering and just pulling back in a little bit. I think it's a retracement. Look for a 50% retracement of the move from the bottom up to the top here, where we rejected at the 50 period. So 50% back down might be a good buying area. I'm also long on coin. And also a couple of other names I got on here, one or two are hedged. But I want to look at the dollar index. And as I said to you on Sunday night, I think this is going to probably probe up a little bit. Notice the top 200 period Bollinger Band here at around about 100.2. And we're literally diddling right in the middle at the center where the moving averages are right now. We've also got a Bollinger Band squeeze, which is likely to explode outwards one way or the other, probably down. But before that, I think we might have to probe a little bit higher. And I think for now, we probably look at a 98 to 102 range. So that's between that black line at the top there and the purple line down at the bottom. But eventually, I think we're going to move into the lower 90s and into somewhere into that blob down there at the 78.6% Fibonacci retracement, that black line right down over here. Let me scoot it across so that you can see it. There it is there, the 786 fib. And we haven't got to it yet, and there's also various support swing lows at the same sort of level. So I think that's where it's going to end up, but we're going to trade in this current sort of range between the recent swing highs and lows for a while. Now moving on to gold and silver, big breakout for gold out of this ascending triangle and the flat top. We're long from quite a long way down now, a couple $100. And I'm looking for this to move up to the 786 fib at around about 5,300, 5280 or 5320. And at that point, I'll hedge the long position and lock in the profits. We'll also be at the top of the channel at that point and probably overbought on the RSI as well. So it'll be a good place to lock in profits. I've actually just added a small long tranche to that too. Now silver, I've got hedged on, but as we got long on gold, I hedged my short silver position. So I've now got a long on silver and a short on silver. And I'll be looking to unhedge, take profit at the top, and maybe get short or vice versa. Copper, I'm still long on, and we're still stuck between the 20 and the 50 period moving averages, and we'll see how we go. As I said in Sunday's live stream, way too many people are bullish on copper, calling for $10. I still think it looks bullish, and I think the overall story is bullish, but way too many people have got onto the long side of this, so we may have to have a deeper correction. I have nothing on platinum. And then going across to natural gas, well, really, I was going to do a video yesterday, and I'll probably do one tomorrow, or maybe later on this afternoon, but still stuck down here. And since the open on Sunday, the last 3-4 hour candles off the rollover have just moved sideways, holding the support here just at around about 2.91. So I'm still long, but with a very tiny position, and I want to see what happens next. I'm allowing for dips down to into the 2.7s and 2.8s, as I said in the previous video. And you can check out those videos. They're linked here on this channel and also discussed in detail in the live stream on Sunday. So I'm still long NatGas, allowing for dips down to 2.7. And I think the story is that we'll probably head up more towards $4 and $5 than $3 or $2. So I think we're near the bottom of the range, but allowing for spikes down through the bottom, down to about 2.7. And if and when we get to the top, allow for spikes, above 550 into maybe 650. That would require supply side shocks and so on, but keep that in mind that these are not fixed perfect levels. So still long on natural gas, looking to add, looking to get more long. I've got a very, very small position on there, and I can swing this either way depending on the way the market moves. Now on WTI oil, we're still hedged, and we're still awaiting news of what's going on in the Middle East with Iran and the US and the buildup of military assets in the region. I suspect, though, that this is going to flip-flop wildly as we hear news of war and whenever it starts or whatever goes on there. This is going to flip-flop wildly as the situation develops, whether there's capitulation or fierce resistance, that sort of thing. And indeed, a war may not even start. So let's hope for that, actually, and that there's a peaceful resolution. But nevertheless, I'm fully hedged. I'm going to remain hedged until we find out what's going on. But in general, I think we might poke up to the top of the range here, the top of this long-term channel, the order block, and just rinse and repeat what we've often done. Every time we rally on geopolitical news and issues, we fall back down again after making a lower high. I think we could end up down back at 55, maybe 50, and even into the 40s. And that's it, folks. And just swinging back to the Bitcoin chart, because you'll all be watching this closely, I imagine. A tiny little bounce here out of the 78.6% fib, but it is interesting that we did react to that level almost perfectly. And so it's in the mind of the market. Have a great trading day, folks. See you next time.
Boy, the market's moving and I'm still grooving, but I'm not trading not till it's proven. Jumping jump ups, that chart looks fly, but unless it's right, I let it pass by. I don't chase highs, I don't chase lows.